morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wuri Primakusumastuti. I'm from the State University of New York in Albany in the United States of America. In this very nice occasion, I would like to present our empirical study that we did over the summer, entitled Innovative Hybrid Responses to Emergency Remote Learning in Rural Indonesia. So with the coronavirus pandemic, many educational institutions all over the globe have been forced to migrate to fully online instruction. And this radical shift has come with the significant challenges for English language teachers all over the world, especially those with limited access to internet connectivity and infrastructures such as in rural Indonesia. And for Indonesia, we have a huge geographical challenges because Indonesia is an archipelagic country where socioeconomic and educational inequality had been a concerning issues even prior to the pandemic. And when school closed and everybody were forced to move to remote learning, the challenges were enormous. And those challenges, including limited infrastructure to conduct remote learning, and then limited online literacy for both teachers, students, or even authority, and limited teacher experience to communicate through online, let alone to teach online, and limited support from school, government, society to conduct online learning, and of course, high cost of internet connection. Although the challenges are huge, rural area communities do not have many options but following the command from the authorities. So this is what they are trying to do in order to upkeep with the situation. The first one is the authorities from East Nusa Tenggara who were attending the virtual meeting with the authorities from their district. So in order to attend this meeting, they have to walk 1 kilometer from their village and then climb the trees to get signal. They also only have one devices to share with each other because they do not have access to borrow the devices or even to buy the devices themselves. It's too expensive and it is unpredictable situation. So they have one devices and share with each other. And the challenges is also faced by the students, not only the authority, because most of them also do not have sufficient devices to attend the online school. So this picture show you how one student named Hilarius Setiawan rely on his cheap smartphone to check on his school assignment. At this point, he was actually pretty lucky because he can do it at home, while other students, like these students, have to go to the hills in order to get stronger connection to access their school assignment. Some other students even do not have access at all to the devices and internet connection. When you see the student is actually live in the most crowded island or the most populated island in Java, and the student do not come from a very poor family. They do not have the devices, they do not have the internet connection. So when their school is closed, they do not have anywhere to go other than the nearby open space close to their home to study together with the help of one teachers. And on the other part of the island where they have the devices to access the internet, to access the online learning, they do not have internet connection at home. So the students need to go to the side of the road in order to download and upload their school assignment, because at home or in their village, they do not have internet reception for their smartphone or laptop. So from this phenomenon, we are trying to develop some research questions to investigate, which is how do teachers' knowledge, perception, and experiences guided their online ELT teaching under emergency migration condition? What innovation do they evolve to meet their local challenges and constraints? So this study have two subjects, and both of them were recruited through the author's professional networks and asked to participate in two forms of data gathering. The first data gathering is completing written questions that directed them to articulate their perception and practices. And then the second data gathering were synchronous online interview with one or more of the others. So both of the participants are ELT teachers who teach in two different schools. It is a middle school in rural Indonesia in Java Island. And later on, I will call them Mr. Joko and Miss Siti. For the background, Mr. Joko is a self-taught polyglot and has been teaching EFL for 17 years at the same middle school in a small village in central Java. He is a local in this area, and for his educational background, he attended 4 years of college where he majored in English education. He is also a self-taught polyglot who knows 5 languages, but most of them limited to reading and writing. Prior to the pandemic, he had neither experience taking courses nor teaching online, and he has been using personal approach to support his students during the remote learning. The next participant was Miss Siti. Miss Siti is a former translator, businesswoman, and marketing agent prior to changing her professional to ELT. And she has been teaching EFL for 2 years at the same school. She was also a self-taught polyglot who knows 4 languages but not very familiar with the local language where she currently works. However, with the 4 languages that she learned by herself, she has a different proficiency in different languages. So her educational background was 4 years of college in English education and 2 years of college in business and marketing at the graduate level. She had experience taking online courses and is very comfortable using online communication platform and social media. And she has been integrating her students' fund of knowledge for her lesson plans and actively learning the local culture through day-to-day communication with her neighbors, her students, and her student parents. With limited access to infrastructure and internet connectivity, both teachers tried to provide materials that were accessible for their students. So this chiefly occurred via WhatsApp and other low bandwidth platform. And both Joko and Siti believe that participation is the key to language instruction, as well as when it comes to measuring students' understanding and engagement. Therefore, they make the most of their instruction to encourage their students to participate in their online classes. Although there's still so many limitations that they face in their day-to-day practices in the situation. So both teachers face similar challenges in terms of infrastructure and students' engagement. So for example, according to Joko, most of students do not have cell phones for online class. Even if they have to take turns with their siblings or parents. In addition, many of them also could not afford internet and data since most of students come from low-income families. And Siti also agreed with that, and she added that it is difficult to monitor students' focus because some students are helping their parents to work while the class in session. So she doesn't know if the student focus on the instruction or not. But both try to apply different strategies based on their pedagogical and technological experience to conduct online teaching. So this is based on JOKO'S strategy. For the person who had not engaged in many online instruction, Joko consequently pessimistic about the efficiency of online teaching is rigid, especially WhatsApp, because this is one-way communication, and most of the time the students do not respond him promptly in his instruction. And Joko did not have the capacity to set up students collaboration of any kind, so his class was limited to grammar, along with limited instruction in reading and writing. In addition, due to his student limited English vocabulary, he rarely used English as a medium of instruction. He argues that the students need to understand his instruction clearly in order to be able to do the task. So this practice was also reflected in the fact that most of the written instruction was in Indonesia for Joko class. So when the students did not respond, or when they did not read the discussion, Joko would directly message them to make sure that they were online when the class is in session. So to support his students, Joko emphasized the importance of knowing student background, not only their language proficiency, but also their economical background, geographical background, and online literacy. So he believes that communicating with students both online and offline strengthen the rapport and enhance emotional engagement, something that helps to overcome digital or distance ambiguities and that can foster motivation for his student. So in developing his online instruction, he adjusts the teaching platform based on what students can afford and understand. He also adjusts his teaching by using national language, which is Indonesia, to make sure that his student will not be overwhelmed. He is truly interested in and learning from his interaction with his students online. So he also blend his instruction by regularly calling his students' parent, or sometimes his students, or doing home visit to support his student well-being and check on their understanding of course content. For him, a teacher should be flexible in emergency online migration to create comfortable learning environment for students and to develop self-learning community for them. Unlike Mr. Joko, Miss Siti created um, platform where students can have discussion outside their main group. So she also used WhatsApp for the main instruction, but she utilized more diverse platform such as e-learning madrasah and Google Forum. When she creates a student group discussion forum, this forum is actually meant for students to communicate with their classmates without their teacher intervention. And in this group, the students can collaborate with other students and basically ask any subject that was discussed or not discussed in the class. So the students can still connected with their friends or classmates, even they are not meeting them in person. She also give a daily task such as sharing 5 new English words that they found either from the class or from outside the class. So students were responsible to keep learning even if they are not in face-to-face situation. And City also very determined to use target language when her class were in session because she believed that English language learning is easier to do when it is online because most of learning platforms such as WhatsApp, Google Forum, e-learning madrasah, or even the internet in general use English as the language of instruction. Therefore, she could make use of students' internet funds of knowledge to develop her online instruction. But to ensure that her students understood her instruction, she also broke down complex questions into more simple questions. When no one responded to her, in the mind group, she would provide an example of possible answer using a short sentences so that the students could follow the model and respond to her question. Unlike Joko, Siti actually also teaches speaking and listening in her online class as a part of the homework. She had the students submit their homework via direct message because she want to avoid overwhelm bandwidth for the students' devices. Other than that, she also give one-on-one online listening and speaking tasks using WhatsApp. And this practice represents one of her efforts to remind students that the school was in session and that their teacher is still there to support their learning even though they do not go to school. Miss Siti also emphasized the importance of tailoring her teaching materials with student interest, fun of knowledge, and fun activities. She tailored her lesson plan to align with students' interest and background. And she learned about this information through the students' parents and neighbors. And in a very opportunity, she tried to weave this interest and passion into a conversation. So, for example, when she was teaching grammar, she will try to use some expression from the online games that most of her students know, such as Mobile Legend, so the student can engage with the subject. Other than that, instead of using um, Western food such as pizza, spaghetti, or hamburgers in flavor and food subject, she will change it into a local food like fried rice, chicken noodle, or chicken satay. So the students can both identify and learn relevant new vocabulary based on their fund of knowledge. So from this perspective, Joko and City responses to emergency migration to remote learning inform us about their resilience and their efforts to support their students and their communities. Such experience and responses might say much about the intellect and dedication of professional educators, and more research that conceptualize teaching language online in rural area is sorely needed. Remote learning is a challenge for teachers and students in rural areas. Hence, there is much to learn from teachers' experience, strategies, and perspective in these extraordinary times. Such experience and responses say much about the intellects and dedication of professional educators. So we should know how to navigate this kind of situation for the further research. So that's why in the future we can investigate how to prepare for remote learning in rural areas and what are the best ELT practices during emergency remote learning in rural areas and how to support ELT teachers in rural areas. So this kind of research can be explored can be explored more for the future reference. So I think that's all from me, and if you have any question, feel free to ask me, and you can also email me through my professional email wkusumastuti@albany.edu. I will answer it within 24 hours. Okay, and that's all for today's presentation. See you next time and have a good day. Bye bye.